We did it. Hello, everybody. It's me, Naomi. This morning I dunked my sleeve into a cup of coffee, and this is the Scotty Survivor recap podcast on the Live Reality Games Network. I'm Naomi. We have with me my co-host Lee. Lee, how are you today?
Doing well. Can't wait to talk about this episode. Mistakes were made.
No, that's not the title of the episode. It's actually titled "Sorry We All Lied to Your Virtual Face," but could be. Shane will be joining us in just a little bit. I'm super excited to talk about this episode because, to me, this was an episode where we finally started to see some people make mistakes, like you said, and some people sort of who think they're really good at the game suddenly not be as good as the game as they want to be. Shane, welcome to the podcast. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? I just walked in from a challenge. So.
And boy, are my arms tired. Well, we were just saying that we thought this was a great episode where some mistakes were made. Lee, overall, what were your impressions of this episode?
My impression of this episode was, looks like my assumption of Michael was correct. And that, like I said, I think it was a mistake voting off Elle for not only because we like her, but for strategic reasons as well.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think that in general, losing Elle was probably not a move that either side should have wanted to make, especially considering that technically, if they had figured it out, one side would have had 4 people. But at the same time, Elle kind of gave up, and I feel bad because I don't think she deserved anything that she essentially brought upon herself. But let's start off with poor Cushy, all alone in California. She doesn't know what's going on anymore. And I thought it was interesting to see all of the reactions of the different tribe members. Especially, I think, Eric. Eric is so funny. He's so empathetic. I love him so much because he just is like, he's just trying to be nice to everybody, and then he's just like, I can't wait to slit their throats. Then he has to be like, no, I'm a nice guy. I'm a nice guy. It's fine. I'm nice. Shane, do you have a second to tell us about Cushy post this vote out? You muted yourself, so that's why I'm asking.
Can't find my unmute button. Oh, that was embarrassing. Cushy was really upset after this vote. I think she felt like she was done. Like, she's gone. It's not worth it. Like, people are just gonna vote me out. So she was pretty pissed, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really felt for her. She was, there's always that moment where like somebody else gets voted out, and you're like, oh my god, is it gonna be me? And then you're like, you immediately kind of, I'm surprised we didn't get this more. Get like the fuck these people edit of like, I hate all of you. I don't want to talk to any of you because you could maybe
she's too nice for that. I think she definitely probably felt that. I remember she was definitely not happy with any of these people, but she's too nice for the like fuck these people type, like I said, she's just too nice.
Yeah, maybe that's just my bitter emotional reaction. We were surprised that Cushy was actually not like so hell-bent against the people who just blindsided her.
No, because she is like the super nice girl, and it is easy for her to just not talk to these people, considering she's like on the other side of the country. And it wouldn't be smart for her anyways, to be like, no, I can't talk to these people since she is on the bottom. So she does need to make these connections and hope that people will keep her despite her being the only remote student.
She's got some tricks up her sleeve. She's got some things up her sleeve.
And Cushy's also a freshman, right?
Yes.
because I think that they're probably trying not to scare the freshmen anymore. They've done their due diligence of voting out the freshmen, and maybe now it's time to like not do that so much. And I think I do think that this tribe is kind of realizing it's a little bit of a bad look, and so they're trying to like course correct and like not vote out another freshman and seem like it's just a bunch of older kids beating up younger kids. So they've kind of figured out that I don't know. I'm this whole tribe to me is a mess, and I love them. I love them very dearly. The other person that I think we definitely need to talk about in this tribe is Sarah. So Queen Sarah figures it out and gets an idol. And I loved this. Shane, were you shocked that Sarah was the one who found it?
I don't want to spoil too much, but no, not at all. Yeah, no, not at all. Like, Sarah was driving herself. Like, I got a call from Sarah. She was like, I have looked on every page, every person's page. Like, I've gone on YouTube. Like, she was so pissed. She must have looked for hours before she found it. She really was putting in a lot of time to figure out what the clue, like the virtual clue, was. And so once she found that, I knew that she was going to find the idol. Like,
yeah,
it was. She would have, the way that it told her exactly where to go at that point. So there was no way she wasn't finding it. Like, she would have spent all night there, if it weren't for that.
And essentially nobody else got that second half of the clue, right?
Not at this point.
Yeah. So there was no hope. Sarah just demolishing everybody. Love it. What I also, Lee, I wanted to know what you thought about like the Sarah Amara kind of. I don't know what's going on there anymore in that tribe, but what did you think about like? I guess it's basically like just like a bunch of the female members of the tribe making like decisions, and then all the men being like, "Oh, okay, well, I'll do it. I'll go with it." Like that's what it feels like to me.
I mean, it's a nice change because usually it's the other way around. It's all the male tribe saying what to do, and it's the females being like, "Okay, I'll do it." So it's definitely a good turnaround. I'm happy Sarah found the idol because, like I said with Olivia, it's nice seeing different types of players finding idols, because in the real show and some college ones we see the same people or same type of players finding an idol and not doing much with it. But with Sarah and Olivia, who it is interesting since they're both immediately in the episode one, both were saying how they love each other, and now the two people that love each other have each tribe's idol, so that'd be interesting to figure out.
It would. And the other tribe for a moment. I mean, there's so much stuff post-challenge to talk about, but I just think this other tribe is so, I would say almost like not peaceful. They're a little more like stoic compared to the other tribe. Does that track for you, Shane? Yeah. And I think that what I love about the other tribe is that I should say what I love about like this tribe with Leo and Olivia is that they have so much bubbling under the surface, but none of it is coming out. Whereas I think the other tribe, it's Balder, right? Balder has all of this like tension that they're kind of working through, but like is also there. And I think everybody's just trying to be like overly nice to skirt around the tension. Like, oh, Cushy, how are you doing? I'm sorry I voted for you and I'll never do it again. They're all kind of playing like fake nice in a lot of ways, which I love. I love watching people be fake nice to each other. It's so funny. Lee, well, okay, Shane, I have so many logistical questions about this challenge. If we had nothing to talk about pre-challenge, I want to talk to the logistics of this. Did you mail them these puzzles? I'm confused.
No, so everybody besides Cushy was in Pittsburgh at that point, so they picked them up from my house. Like, I left everything outside, and I was like, here, I'll leave it outside. Like, you come pick it up.
Yeah.
I'm not explaining anything. Just like, here we are. And so yeah, they just picked it up.
And nobody could open the bag. They were sealed
Mm-mm.
for posterity's sake, I guess.
Yep.
So this building challenge looked like a fucking nightmare. I thought it was going to be easy, and then it was not.
Mm-mm.
So, why did you make the most complicated structure ever?
Because we were looking for ways to get creative with challenges over Zoom, and I think we did that.
Yeah.
So honestly, I didn't think it was that hard when I made it. So I was a little shocked that it took them so long.
How long did it take them overall? Do you remember?
Oh, it was like 45 minutes.
Jesus fucking Christ. Oh,
It was 45 minutes by the time we finished the puzzle.
Jesus. Lee, what did you think of this challenge? Because I agree with you, Shane. I think it was one of the more creative, like, virtual possible puzzles and challenges.
Yeah, it was definitely a creative challenge with all the different aspects from, like, you had your classic caller guide challenge, usually when somebody's blindfolded, but in this case not. You have your little task challenge, you have your word puzzle and your jigsaw puzzle type thing.
It wasn't a jigsaw
block puzzle.
It wasn't a slide puzzle either. It's like this like compass. It's like the compass puzzle from like Survivor, but we didn't have the stands, so you just had to like put it together.
Yeah, and everything was like in building block form, in an awkward shape.
It took me so long to put together that puzzle. I did it wrong the first time I like glued it all together, and I was like, why can't I do this puzzle? Like, I don't understand. Like, I feel like I should know how to do it. And then I like figured out that like the pieces were glued wrong, and I was like, oh my god, I have to redo the whole thing.
No. I got a question. For the word puzzle, did they know right away it'd be a Survivor phrase?
Yeah, we told them it was a Survivor phrase.
Then, okay, question for the Ogun tribe. Why did you give that to someone who doesn't watch Survivor?
That's a good question. I don't know why.
Like, that's why I was thinking, like, you knew it was a Survivor phrase. Why didn't somebody that at least was familiar with the show?
I'm sorry. So they didn't know that it was a Survivor phrase prior to the challenge. We made them choose them for the challenge. We did figure that they would know it just because at the first tribal council they said the tribe has spoken. So we figured they've heard. We told them that they had heard it before.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like
that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the kind of craziness to me where like I guess even if you are a Survivor fan, right? You know that like the word puzzle is more than likely something Survivory, even if it's just like victory over the other tribe or something like, you know, all the fixins. You gotta assume that like the word puzzle is either college related or Survivor related, and you want somebody who could know either of the two. And I feel like Elle got really screwed up in just not knowing anything, and she sort of basically destroyed her own chances, even though I think she probably could have figured it out if she tried and didn't feel incredibly discouraged. That was brutal. And
are they just Michael? So
yeah. And are they just waiting in the? Okay, are they in breakout rooms doing the puzzle?
The which puzzle?
The word puzzle. I just want to know if like the tribe can watch her just like not get it.
They're all watching her get it.
Oh, it must have been so frustrating because if you figured out the clue or could easily guess and you couldn't help.
Yeah, like they can't help, right?
Yeah, you couldn't have like a Haley game changer moment where you figure out outside its metamorphosis.
And I'm sure too that Audrey would have killed that puzzle.
Yeah.
Damn, and we just wanted to see Queen Audrey shine. The minute that they were like, "Oh, we might vote her out because she didn't do anything," that's when I was like, "How fucking dare you!" I was ready to like be on here screaming that they voted out Audrey for no good goddamn reason. But like, okay, it's fine. I was furious at that suggestion.
She must have been queer bored throughout that 45 minutes just sitting there like, do I go now? Have it now.
Yeah, that was brutal. I mean, Lee, would you ever vote somebody out just because they didn't do a puzzle at all?
No, unless they fucked it up.
Unless they're
like,
all the people throwing puzzle pieces like 5 feet over.
Yeah, like if you didn't do anything in the challenge because you couldn't, then it's not really a good reason to vote somebody off. If that person happened to be somebody you didn't trust or other stuff, then maybe I could understand. But with this tribe, it just seems like everyone like tries to think of a reason why, and they just couldn't think of one why.
Yeah. So Shane, can you tell me a little bit more about like, were they considering Audrey just because she didn't do anything, or because it was also like, well, she might be someone that we could take out?
I think they were thinking about her for that reason. Yeah, like because at that point they didn't see like they saw Audrey as useful for challenges, but not that useful.
She's got a photographic memory, Shane. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know. Like I think that they just like found her not useful in terms of like relationships.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's the biggest problem for Audrey right now is that like she is not beneficial to a lot of people's games. In fact, the person she's probably most beneficial to is Eric on the other tribe. So there's no real incentive to keep her in the game besides that idle clue that she did end up sharing, right?
She shared it and altered it last episode.
That's right. Oh, God, I got a lot of stuff in my brain. Sorry, everyone. But I really loved that Eric is looking out for Audrey, and I think it's like the one thing that will save her because you all doubted her. I had faith, and look what's
happening. Eric looking out for Audrey, or is he looking out for himself?
I think he is, but I think there's something to be said about when you join an alliance with a really, really strong personality, and that strong personality is sort of dragging you along, let's say in this instance, that eventually that strong personality is going to get dropped in, they're going to get voted out, and you can probably make it through at that point in the game. Could you win? Probably not, but like you'll make it to final like 6 where you might have been voted out 3rd or 2nd if you weren't careful. Yeah, I mean, look, Eric is definitely doing it for him. But isn't that the game of Survivor? You're just doing everything for yourself and then hoping other people will go along with it.
Very fair.
That's all Survivor is.
So let's talk about this Michael Leo nonsense a little bit. This was a lot from Leo. I thought it was funny because I've also been mad at people who have been very, very victorious in their puzzle solves and challenge wins. But also at the same time, I feel like Michael kind of got his little like Survivor dork moment. And I think if anything, you just kind of use that to like be like, oh, he's good at puzzles. Like, okay, there we go. Like, I know that he's good at puzzles and he's a Survivor fan. Let's vote him out later. Like, I don't know. I feel like Leo was so upset, but like to me, it was a lot of ammunition to vote out Michael in the future, and that's a positive technically. Lee, what did you think?
I'm not surprised that Michael was acting like that. Like okay, I'm sure he's an amazing person outside the game, but in the game, he'd be the type of player I would not want to work with, and I would try to get rid of as fast as I can because he would annoy me to death. He has like him being such a fan. He's like, oh my god, I got the Survivor puzzle. Oh my god, so easy. I'm great. Making him sound like he's horrible.
Just reminds me of the kids I went to summer camp with.
Yeah, like yeah, like you know that one theater kid that always has to have the lead role.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like that.
Oh yeah, Michael has played Willy Wonka as an 8th grader in the middle school musical energy. I don't know if this is translating for anybody else, but it's like he doesn't really fit into a suit because he's so tiny and he's such a child, but he gives it everything he's got, and he is pretty good in the role. But you're also like, well, that's a child up there. I love Michael. I think he's hilarious, and I think that's what makes him so great is he's such a little Survivor fan. And I do think that what college survivors kind of need, they always need that one injection of the person who is having their dream sort of lived out through the game. And I think that's Michael, and I think that we're better off having him on our screen. So I don't want to see Michael go. I want to see Michael make the merge and be excited about competing in challenges and blindsides. Like, I'm looking forward to Michael going forward, unless he gets swapped onto a tribe with Leo, and then I'm scared. It's like, oh no. Shane, first of all, I don't. I forgot to mention this. I love that Michael's mask was upside down. Like, you can't wear a mask with text on it and then put it upside down.
He does that so much, and it sometimes bothers me.
Like, why? What's the point of getting a mask with text on it if you can't read it because it's upside down? But I guess, first of all, like, was Leo the only person who's kind of rubbed the wrong way? I know that we saw a little bit of it, but like, I know Leo was particularly rubbed the wrong way. Were other people rubbed the wrong way by Michael's sort of victory screech?
Oh, absolutely. The whole Oregon tribe. All of them.
Those shady bitches. Yeah.
Especially because it was Elle. Like, they were like,
oh yeah,
Elle was like struggling. They were like really pissed.
Yeah, I feel like that's in challenges, and I think a good Survivor player can do this. You got to be able to like read the room, and you got to know when it's like not worth celebrating over, and maybe save it for the group chat after the game. Like, don't go too hard. Lee, if you were on the Ogun tribe and you saw Michael celebrating like this, what would your instinct be? What would your reaction be?
I do what Leo would do. Like, I just constantly like be shit talking him, like what I'm doing right now. I'd be doing the same. Like, I'd be pissed off. I would probably be. I don't know if anyone was allowed to talk like during the challenge, like make comments like, "Yeah, go." I think I'd just say like, "Oh, can you shut up already? We get it. You solved the puzzle. Move on."
I would love very nicely to be like,
Moment. Like, what an moment.
Yeah, I think that, again, like, if I'm somebody on the Ogun tribe, I'm like, well, I'm just gonna vote him out later. Like, that to me is, I feel like in Survivor, especially in like potential swap situations, you're always looking to bond your old tribe together to vote for somebody from the other tribe to sort of like preserve your allies, unless you're in a situation where that isn't beneficial to you. But I would assume that most of the Ogun tribe wants to stay together. And so Michael is like that perfect target of like, he was annoying to us. He was this, let's vote him out. And if I was Leo, I would spend less time complaining about him in confessionals and more time like complaining about him to the tribe, although I'm sure they did. And like really getting people to be like, hey, if we swap, let's vote for him. Like, let's get him out of here. He's clearly a fan, you know. And I think this brings us to the bigger point, which is like, what you said, Lee, is like voting out Elle is kind of a mistake. Elle's not a fan. Elle doesn't know what's going on. Like, why vote out somebody who objectively is not a threat to your game? So, Lee, I'd love to know the thesis of your "this was a mistake" theory.
Yeah, the reason why I think this is a mistake, voting off Elle, is because she was a guaranteed number for the trio of Leo, Anthony, and Olivia. I see that they think like, oh, we're the top three, and we have the choice of going with either Jacob and Dorothy, or Holly and Audrey, Hallie. Was that this episode where he kept saying where like he hates the name Holly now?
Yeah, we'll get to Holly.
Yeah, but I see, because I remember Dorothy mentioning how she and Hallie have a relationship, and I can see her connecting with Hallie and bringing Jacob and Audrey together for them to be a foursome against the trio of Leo, Olivia, and Anthony.
Yeah, I think this was a mistake overall. And I agree that it's like this foursome can now kind of band together. And I I guess it's just overall. It's like you can't make an alliance of 3 and then not have like a secret fourth. And here's my pitch, and I think they should try and bring in Jacob, because Jacob doesn't have like a ton of social capital that we've seen so far, but he's smart and he is a fan. And I think that he's somebody where if you just sort of invite him to be in a casual alliance, right? Hey, let's be like 4 or 5. You say, come bring Dorothy with you. Then you can essentially like have this really insulated group of people. And I feel like what Leo and Olivia and Anthony are not doing are like creating the layers of protection around them. They're just splitting the votes between like 2 sides and then being like, we'll figure it out later. And that to me is not the smartest gameplay. It's not like next level, manipulation that we see sometimes in these games. Shane, when you're watching this go down, are you just like, did you think, okay, do you agree with us? Do you think voting out Elle was a mistake?
I wasn't even thinking about it because I just wasn't. But yeah, now looking back on it, like totally was a mistake. However, I don't think it will matter too much because the swap will screw everything up.
Yeah, that's a good point. And maybe in this instance, it's like, the swap will sort of rectify everything. So if you had pissed somebody off right before the swap, maybe it's a bad idea. But I just kind of think that like it would almost have been beneficial to really nail down an alliance before a swap and keep things kind of tight on your tribe. Lee, if you were Leo, Olivia, and Anthony, which side would you pick in this situation?
Now, viewing it, I would have not voted Elle. In the game, I probably would have stuck with the Elle vote because it's the easy vote. It's very early and it pisses nobody off.
Well, the other thing, like, too, I think this was a big, like, driving factor, like, with Olivia's grandma dying, like, she just was not feeling like scheming. Also, like, for her, for her especially, like, she starts scheming more, like, that's gonna put people onto her as, like, she's still trying to play, like, dumb. So, like, that, like, makes her not look dumb if she starts, like, scheming a lot to save Elle. And it also would explain that Olivia and Elle have like a really tight relationship. So,
yeah, I think really this was a place for Leo or Anthony to like help the alliance that they wanted to form, or sort of on the opposite side, make an alliance with another side that insulates like one of them. Like if Anthony goes to Dorothy and Jacob and says, like, hey, do you guys want to be in an alliance? Then it's almost kind of like you're creating like the boundaries around you instead of like splitting yourself in the middle. I think it's like it's a missed opportunity for Jacob and Leo for sure. For Leo and Anthony.
I think what was poor here is that they're segregating themselves as a 3, and down the line, should they come back with like those people, I think it will be clear that those 3 are together, and so the others will feel like on the outs.
Yeah, and you also see that like Anthony is like a little like wavering on the alliance, right? And so is Leo to an extent. They're both like, yeah, sure, this is an alliance, and I'll be in it. But they clearly are like, if somebody offers me a better alliance, I'll go with it. But they're not really like taking the incentive to like create the better alliance.
Well, Anthony is the PhD student that probably does not care that much about scheming. So
it's true.
That's not very surprising. The number of times I had to explain how the game works to Anthony was shocking.
Yeah,
you can tell he doesn't know the game because of him sharing information with people of the other tribe.
Oh, Anthony. I mean, I this is what I kind of love is that the alliance, the Jorts for Leo alliance, is really this like collection of weirdos. You have Anthony, who doesn't know anything about the game. You have Leo, who like knows so much, and you have Olivia, who has an idol and is like playing dumb. Like, it's such a good sort of like insane group. And
Wait, can we
I
talk
think
about the name? Can we just
Yeah,
talk
yeah.
about that?
What is with this season and horrible alliance names?
Wait, I like it. I think it's funny.
Oh, it's better than Daddy Tick for sure. Daddy Tick is like
It's better than
uncomfortable
that,
to
but
think about.
still.
I think it's funny that they're making fun of Corey.
That's true. That's very true. I do love it.
Yeah.
I love. There is something so fun about in College Survivor, like sort of picking somebody from the other tribe and being like, "Look at this motherfucker. Who's this motherfucker?" And kind of like,
Let's make fun of them.
Such an
yeah,
easy-
picking on them a little bit.
I died the first time I saw the montage of like the jorts. I was like, oh my god.
Jorts, God, like
He really does wear jorts a lot though.
I don't even have like much to say about it. It's just like jorts, like, okay, go off, King, like. But we also get something I think is really fascinating about like Survivor and College Survivor in particular is the whole Holly Hallie sort of name correctness debacle that comes from Leo. And okay, Shane, help me figure it out, because I feel like Hallie is so kind of casual about it. He is mad at Leo, but not mad enough to say anything. But actually, he's not really that mad, but he is kind of mad.
Yeah, pretty much. You hit it right on the head.
Yeah, it's like me when I'm like kind of mad at my boyfriend. It's just like, look, I'm kind of mad, but I'm not. But I am. Like, this is like this cycle of who knows.
Well,
and
clearly they were trying to use that. Like, whoever told him, like Dorothy was trying to use that as ammunition.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, and it didn't work.
Yeah, I feel bad because I do think it is a good plan, but so I'm someone who my name gets pronounced a little bit wrong all the time, and I don't really take it personally, but I think it's because you kind of grow up to be like, it's fine, people will say my name wrong, usually they'll get the most of it right, so who cares? And I feel like Hallie probably also comes from that background of like, it's not the biggest deal in the world that people are getting my name wrong, but there is a part of me that's like, what I think Leo is kind of doing is intentionally getting it wrong to be kind of a dick. And like, I think if somebody knew Leo better, they would be like, oh, he's being a dickhead. Now I'm mad. But instead he's kind of like, well, I don't want to like rock the tribal boat, to say.
I think he says it at some point in an episode, or somebody says it, where he's now just saying it wrong on purpose.
Yeah.
Just cause.
Exactly.
And then him saying
Definitely wrong on purpose.
Yeah. And then Holly saying like, I now hate the name Holly and sorry to any. Was there anyone in college? No College Survivor named Holly. And here I am thinking, there's been two.
One of the most iconic College Survivor players named Holly, but okay. Yeah, that was very funny. And I love Holly, and I love what Holly does to Hallie. That makes sense. Like the where he kind of like gets really mad, and he's like, you know what, never mind, it's fine, I'm over it. And I wish we kind of saw more Hallie on our screen, because he is a lot of fun, and we're not seeing enough of him, in my opinion. But maybe it's just because there's not enough content. But he amuses me, and I can't wait to see.
That would be.
Yeah, there's no such thing as a purple edit in
College
Survivor where you're not filming 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
It's called lives, people. We have them.
Yeah. And it's
so. Go ahead, Lee.
I know. I was just gonna say, and it's weird how the purple edit stemmed from Purple Kelly, and she's not even the most invisible Survivor player ever.
Look, I watched Nicaragua recently. It's a good season.
I'm sorry.
I had a blast. Don't apologize to me. Before we get to the vote, Shane, is there anything else from this episode that we haven't touched upon, or maybe something that like We don't know about behind the scenes. What's the hot goss, Shane?
Sarah with the fake, maybe.
Yeah.
Genius. Like, full respect to Sarah, because this is such a good move. And honestly, I feel like if you're playing College Survivor in this era and you're not hiding fake idols, like, you're not playing College Survivor.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's benefits and downsides. Like, I think we see Hannah Dolan in Survivor. I still forget that that's how it's pronounced. Like in Syracuse, like go out super early. Sorry, spoilers. Because of her fake idols. So like, I think it's how you play the fake idol. Like, it's how, like, if you lead somebody to it, like that's bad decision.
Yeah, we see that happen for I think Tommy and Wahoo Warriors, right? He like plants a fake idol and then goes on an idol hunt with somebody to find it, and that person is fucking furious when they find out that idol is fake.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like a bad situation all around. But what Audrey's kind of doing is almost kind of
Sarah.
like Sarah, sorry, oh my god. What Sarah is kind of doing is the edge of extinction. That's why I said Audrey. Is the edge of extinction of like, let's make a fake idol, hide it, and then it'll be useful to lull other people into like the sense of they found the idol.
This was the most fascinating part about it, was that the next episode, she tells Eric and Michael about her fake idol.
Oh no.
So that if they're searching in the number garden, they won't find her fake idol and think it's real, and then get mad at her when they realize it's not real.
Out of all the people to tell on your tribe, you tell the guy with the most power and the guy who's the most hated by the other tribe.
Well, and here's my other thought.
You'll understand why next episode.
Yeah.
And here's my other kind of thought about this is like, I feel like in that situation, you should tell them ahead of time that you're making a fake idol. Like, if you're gonna tell them that you have the real idol and that you're making a fake one down the line, just tell them now, because they can only feel more bonded to you if you like make the fake idol with them, if you sort of like get their opinions on things. Like, I feel like in College Survivor, what people should be looking for is the opportunity to make people feel like they can trust you and you value their opinion. And I think this is a good example of like putting something fake out there to get people to value your opinion. Or you know what I mean. So I think it was I think it's a misstep if she's going to make it and then tell them, just bring him in, just have a craft night. Like, it's fine. And Shane, this is something I've always been curious about. What are the rules about like reusing the paper? You can just reuse it, right? Or can you not type up your own? Like, is it just fair game? It's like anybody can make a fake idol?
Yeah, anything's fair game.
Wow. All right. I love that. I once played like an LRG where somebody brought their own fake idol and like used it, and honestly, respect. Like, if you're gonna go so hard to bring a fake idol, to be like, look, a fake idol, look, I found an idol in my pocket. Respect.
That's how you know it's fake. If they show it before the votes are read and they say like, yeah, I'm definitely going to play it, you know it's fake. We see it all the time.
Well, I don't know. I think there will be times that could happen in this season, and we know that it's real, so we'll find out.
Yeah, but everyone always.
I just think there's Go ahead, Lee.
No, I'm just saying that's always been my view with College Survivors. It's something I've always noticed. Like, Boss and Palomides, when Zach pulled it out, it was like, obviously it's fake. I mean, that's because I knew it. Maybe that's why I think it's too obvious, because I know the fact that it's fake.
Yeah, well, Zach wasn't fake, but he was faking that he was going to play it, which I agree.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's the same principle of like, don't pull your idol out and pretend that you're going to play it.
I think that's what I meant.
Really have to play in. And it's also, I think in that situation, it's like the only time that's ever really worked was like when Malcolm and Eddie and Reynolds all were like immune at a tribal council, you know, like very rarely does pulling out an idol and sort of waving it around get you exactly what you want. But I do think that I can't wait to see whatever Shane you're sort of hinting at. I'm very excited for this down the line. So we're gonna swap, right? Like next episode.
We sure are swapping.
Total Drama
Wait, but there's
Island. Here we go.
I wonder if we're swapping into 3 tribes because there's 15 of them. Unless there's an exile.
I wonder.
I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
This is what I love about games. I love swapping at an odd number and just confusing everybody. Like, I love watching gears tick in their head.
Well, in season 2, we swapped them like more than once, and they were not expecting it. They just like they literally looked at me and they were like, "I fucking hate you."
I once seen a Survivor where they started. It was a cast of 15. They started with 3 tribes of 5. After the first tribal, swapped. After the second tribal, merged.
That's
fucking hilarious. Well, let's talk about this Elle vote a little bit, because there was a part where I was like, oh, maybe Elle's gonna survive this, but she didn't.
No.
And I think Elle took it pretty much like a champ.
She knew.
But
She knew she was getting voted out. Like, she literally came in with no plan. She asked Anthony before the vote if she could vote for him.
Oh, so that's why she voted Anthony. I noticed that she just said, "I know you'll understand this."
I mean, it's like, I really liked Elle, and I think there's something about her spirit that reminded me a lot of the College Survivor players I really loved in the past. But I also understand when you can see that other people really care about this game, and you're like, well, it's not my passion, that you might want to essentially like sacrifice yourself for the tribe to go forward. And I honestly, like, I don't blame her. I get it. Like,
I don't think that's what happened.
oh,
I think she
okay.
went into the game. I just think that she thought it was her fault that they were going to tribal, and therefore was like, I don't want to make anybody lose because of my mistake. However, since that moment, she's been kicking herself, I think. I feel like, and has been dying to go back and play again.
Elle for Survivor,
Elle for
Scotty.
You heard it here first. You heard it here first, because I really think that she like has a lot of potential. She's really smart. She reminds me a lot of the very strong women from Survivor Maryland that are like really social, kind of like snarky, but like they go so far. And I feel like if she had stuck with, she would have really sort of gone quite deep. So yeah. Shane, if Elle had not sort of rolled over and allowed them to vote her out, who do you think would have gone home this time?
Audrey.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been Audrey. And it really could have been, because Olivia was thinking about it. She was like, should I play my idol on Elle? Like, I don't want her to go home.
That would have been iconic. Like,
oh, imagine she plays it on Elle and Anthony goes home.
Well, I think she would have told Elle that she was playing an idol on her.
Okay.
And then they would have voted whoever they wanted. Probably, honestly, Olivia probably would have gone for Dorothy or Jacob.
Yeah, I would see that.
So, yeah. But no, I think if Elle hadn't sent that text, Audrey would have gone for sure.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the tough part about this episode, is we know that there's like something so much more interesting under the surface, and it just kind of nobody's fault. It happens. People sort of.
Well, I can guarantee you that won't be the case this upcoming week.
Ooh.
I can't wait for that. Okay, so is there anything else we haven't touched upon yet? I'm like, I love these episodes so much, but I also I feel like this one was very straightforward. We kind of knew what was going on. Zoe and Sarah have patched things up. I love to see it.
Yay.
I think Amara is really fun. She's kind of like the most paranoid in some ways, and I kind of love it. She is like really like looking over her shoulder at all turns, being like, "Who's trying to vote me out? Like, I'll come." Like, yeah.
That's definitely the Michigan view.
She was so paranoid the entire game.
I love it.
We thought Anthony was a Dr. Will. It looks like Amara is a Dr. Will with all her paranoia.
Well, Anthony didn't care enough about the game to be a Dr. Will, so
Oh, tragic. Well, I kind of get that from Corey a little bit. Like Corey cares a little bit more, right? Maybe he can
Corey
be
is fucking taking notes.
exactly. I feel like Corey can take the slack.
Handwritten notes like about every conversation, every interaction. Like this man's really putting in the effort. Will it pay off? We'll find out.
Awesome. Lee, anything else you wanted to talk about before we kind of wrap it up on Elle's iconic 3-episode appearance?
Elle for All Stars.
Yeah, you've heard it here first, folks. Let me hang on.
She changing her name to Elle for All Stars.
No. There we go. Elle for All Stars. There we go. And
Make it happen.
this is our LRG endorsement, Elle for All Stars. And we are. I'm just gonna throw this up there. So Shane, there you go. Shane did it.
Yay!
So Shane, next episode, Tuesday night. And then also, do you have a schedule for the recaps too, or is it just subscribe to the YouTube and you'll get the recaps when they happen?
It's because season 2 has been a little all over the place.
Yeah.
We're gonna try to get a consistent schedule, but we all know how that goes. So yeah, we're gonna hopefully try. But yeah, Tuesday should be fun. I will tell you that we will not be seeing one person voted out. We will be seeing 2 people voted out.
Double episode.
Is it a oh? I don't even know. Is it a double travel?
It's not a double episode. 2 people are just getting voted out.
Did you bring back that Cook Island bottle twist?
No, maybe, I don't know. Let's see. So I'm really excited. First of all, I think everybody needs to remember to subscribe to Scotty Survivor on YouTube and the Scotty Survivor sort of after show recap show that is also its own separate YouTube account. You guys are on Instagram. You guys are we have a Facebook viewer group if you want to join that. There's a Discord. Is it called a server? Like a Reddit has a subreddit. It's a Discord server, right?
Oh, it's a Discord channel.
Discord channel.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a Discord
There's
channel.
For all college survivors, including Scotty's. So we're active in that if you want to join.
Yes. You can watch me and Lee argue about West Side Story in the Survivor Mission 1. And overall, just remember to support live reality games and find us everywhere. Thank you for anyone who's watching. And you can always listen to the podcast instead of watching it. If maybe you don't have time, put me on 1.5 speed. I think I sound just the same. So thank you guys for joining me. This has been super fun. And Tuesday, 8 p.m., new episode Scotty Survivor. Check it out. Say bye to the folks at home, everybody. Here we go. Goodbye.